Yeah.
When it comes to beating Sazerac, I'm a Maverick, like Logan Paul.
Wow.
You better call Saul.
Oh shit.
Take these bitches to the mall.
I take a trip to the mall. Yeah,
No.
we're hitting the mall.
With the whole team. Okay. Yeah. Just keep starting. Okay. Sure. We'll do the whole cube. Scream demon.
Dude, I just no-guessed the pre-drop. I'm so excited. I did the...
I beat minimum. Yes!
Let's go!
Thank fuck,
Nice.
dude. I choked that ending too many times. Alright, I'm gonna definitely talk about the level now.
Okay, I'm sorry that I deafened.
Okay.
Pips, what were you saying?
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm done with the level now. That wasn't actually that bad. It's pretty fun. I don't need to tell you, again, you've heard it enough, and you probably agree. The concept in this is fucking genius. I mean, it's so well executed. It really is. I don't think I would trust very many other creators to pull this off as well as Inside did. It's really impressively done. It's done really cleverly, really intelligently, and I think it has a good mix of being, like you're taking like parts where you take the same path and parts where you take a different path, right? Because obviously if you took the same path the whole level, like that'd be cool, but it'd kind of get like one note, right? So there's like parts where like you have to like dodge the orb or then use the orb, or like there's different parts where like you do basically the same thing with the same orb even when you go backwards, and there's parts where you just take a completely different route. Like it's clever, very, very clever in that regard, and I really do enjoy it. I have a few complaints about gameplay that I think are kind of just byproducts of this format. No, not format. The byproducts of the concept, right? Where, like, to an extent, there was not much that could have been done. You know what I mean? The ship at 62, the very end of the ship, that was very, very tricky. Having to dodge that pink orb, like that's just kind of difficult, and like there was no real way to fix that or avoid it, but like it was kind of annoying. The wave at the start, surprisingly difficult. Like wow, that wave at the start is difficult, dude. Yeah, like it's all fair difficulty. Like it's not terrible. It's just like genuinely pretty hard. Like okay, wow. The UFO at the end is my biggest complaint with the level, because it just felt kind of inconsistent no matter what you did. Particularly, there were two things in the last UFO, three actually in the last UFO. One was very minor, but two I think that were like noticeable. The dash orb release fall into the yellow portal, the upside down portal, was kind of awkward. I had to actually find an audio cue to release for when to release the dash orb, because if you release too early, you like fall down into the upside down portal, and then you have to do like 2 fast clicks to make it through the gap. If you release too late, you basically like hit the upside down portal immediately, so you have to like let go and click right away, or else you like fall up too far for 2 clicks to make it through the gap. So I actually had to find an audio cue where I was releasing just before I was over the portal, so I like barely hit the side instead of the top of that hitbox, so I got a little tiny bit of a swing down, and then could do the 2 clicks pretty much to the beat and get in every time. I only died there once, and it was because I genuinely just forgot my audio cue. I just thought it was 4 instead of the and of 4 in the song. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. It's a music thing, I guess, sort of. That I didn't love. That I wasn't a fan of. The other 2 things, which I did not die to from zero, thank fuck, because I was pretty much 50% expecting to for the next one I'm about to say. Here we go, get ready. The one part where you're in the one block gap, and then there's the yellow orb, right? And you have to do like the quick 2-tap. That was just kind of annoying, because at first I was just like spamming, genuinely just like 2-input spamming through like up to that gap, and that sometimes wasn't consistent. I found it more consistent to try to get like one really early click, like you have to do a fast 2, where the first click was like as soon as possible out of the gap, right? I was doing 3 for a while too. Oh, whoops, that's me pressing play. 24:25 is my final attempt count. Okay. But like it was like I was doing a quick 3-click, which was okay. It was fine, but I found the 2 to be the most consistent way to do it. I didn't love it. It was kind of obnoxious, right? Because you have to get that first click so early for it to work, and then you have to, and like the second click has to be immediate after the first click too. It was awkward. It was kind of awkward. I didn't love it. And then at the very end, the last few UFO jumps, depending on, it never happened to me really. Like it happened every now and then in practice, not from zero, and it was somewhat rare, so it's not a big thing. But it being at the end of the level, I feel like it's worth mentioning. If you jump through those gaps 3 times, I don't know how it works if you take the blue orb, because you can. The way I did it, I took 2 blue orbs, skipped the 3rd blue orb, and then just did 3 upside down jumps through the gaps, right? You can also take that 3rd blue orb and then go blue jump immediately, and then do the 3 jumps as down gravity. I think because down gravity and upward gravity are different for UFO, down gravity might just like work better. But if you take the upside down gravity route, the jumps are slightly shorter than the distance between the gaps. So if you just take 3 jumps, you have to be like over to the right enough, or else you could fall into the 3rd set of like the 3rd spike gap thing. You could fall into the spike above on the top of that gap. Holy shit, my brain. You could fall into the spike on the top of that gap and die. And what kind of also made it awkward is if you had to spam up to get the coin, then you had to adjust out. I don't know. It felt like it felt like it had the potential to be seen as awkward, depending on your experience, how you line it up, how, like, you know what I mean, just how it feels under your finger, really. It was fine for me, but like I say, at the very end of the level, I feel like it deserves a mention, because it could be a problem. I don't know. It might not be an issue, but it could be. It could be. It could be. It absolutely has the potential to be. Yeah, this was cool though. This, like I say, concept's brilliant. Deco's great as usual. I mean, inside stuff is super like cerebral in a lot of ways, which I really, really like. It's like very intelligently done just about every time, which is great. Absolutely love it. 1 or 2 little nitpicks here and there I didn't absolutely love. The dash orbs at 30 in the UFO felt a little awkward until I got them down. Once I got them down, they were okay. Admittedly, they were fine, but you know, it was just kind of one of those things where like, I'm gonna die to that sometimes. The black orbs at the beginning in the UFO at like in the 10s were kind of tricky because you didn't really have a good visual cue. You were just kind of like doing it until it worked out. You know what I mean? A lot of the first wave was very difficult, but I've already mentioned that. Yeah, I don't know. It was fun. It was a solid experience. I wish I didn't die to the end as many times as I did, but it was fine. It was good. You know, whatever. Decent level. Better than decent. This is a good level. It's a good level. This is going to have a good enjoyment. But yeah, definitely not Inside's best gameplay if you just take it at like face enjoyment value and don't factor in that it's a, you know, what's it called? An ambigram level type of thing, right? If you don't look at the concept, then like, yeah, of course it's not the most fun, but very cleverly done, as usual with Inside stuff. Very, very cleverly done. I'd recommend it, honestly. I could see people having an issue with it, and I wouldn't maybe recommend it as a hardest, because it is so learny and like weird and kind of avant-garde at times, but I don't want to call it avant-garde, but like the gameplay is unconventional at moments. I think that's fair to say about this level. So maybe not as a hardest, but like if you've beaten stuff considerably harder than this, you're like looking for like kind of a mid-range, low mid-range extreme, I'd recommend it. It's pretty fun. Solid level. Alrighty, I'm gonna cut the recording here now. Bye.